Transport is a fundamental pillar of modern societies. It plays a critical role in facilitating economic growth and connects people, goods and services around the world. But although it is a vital sector for a country's economy, the current transport modes have significant downsides. Transport as we know it today is indeed a major cause of negative impacts on our environment and human health. In Europe, for example, the sector contributes to a quarter of the total greenhouse gas emissions produced and is therefore a significant contributor to climate change. But transport does not only contribute to climate change, it is also a major cause of air pollution, noise pollution, resource consumption, land degradation, and habitat fragmentation, as well as being a major source of human accidents. It is also the only major economic sector in Europe where greenhouse gas emissions have increased since the 1990s. Despite advancements in the energy efficiency of new vehicles, the overall increase in transport demand has led to a rise in total emissions. This trend is quite concerning, especially as demand on all forms of transport are expected to increase in the coming years. To address these challenges and meet the goal of climate neutrality by 2050, Europe must transition to a more sustainable mobility system. Every sector can define new ways of operating that involve less waste, reduces carbon impact, and is more energy efficient. This is where economic models such as the circular economy can come into play to change the way we do things for the better. Adopting circular economy principles can reduce the environmental footprint and create a more environmentally friendly, socially inclusive, and economically viable transport sector. This circular economy approach prioritizes resource efficiency, waste reduction, and an enhanced collaboration among different stakeholders, which creates a more holistic and responsible way of managing transport. In this video, we will focus in particular on the logistics side of transport. But what is logistics? In brief, it is the planning, implementation, and coordination of the movement and storage of goods, services, and information from the point of origin to the point of consumption. So, what does it mean to apply circular economy to transport and logistics? To answer this question, we interviewed John McRory. John is the Environmental and Sustainability Director at Malcolm Group, a Scottish company which offers many transport services including logistics, rail freight, construction and vehicle maintenance services all over the UK. So we asked John to tell us a bit about how circular economy is applied at Malcolm Group.
One of the things we are kind of concentrating on is a holistic approach to sustainability, which includes the circular economy and the opportunities that we have within that. In order for us to integrate that within the wider business, it's actually just breaking it down and understanding exactly what it relates to. For Malcolm's, we've got a great opportunity as a logistic business, as a construction business, as a waste business, to interact with many different sectors. So when we look at circular economy, we sometimes get a bit kind of fogged about manufacturing industries and construction industries that they're the only industries that can have an impact on it. Whereas for the transport side of things, we are the connectors to sectors, and it's so vital that we're part of that conversation.
We asked John to tell us a bit about what he thinks are some of the key benefits of applying circular economy to logistics.
The kind of key benefit, other than your sort of environmental benefits of it, is the potential for it to open up business streams, and again, being that connector in between different organisations. Then our sort of key goal in terms of efficiency, for example, is once we move products, we have to be returning with products. We can't have empty running. It's not sustainable for a business to do that. So that's where the sort of opportunities will definitely come into play.
Circular economy allows a business to reduce its environmental impact by reducing carbon emissions, minimizing waste, and optimizing energy efficiency. And it also has the potential to open up the doors for new business opportunities. But what does circular economy look like in practice? Let's look at some examples. In collaboration between industry partners, Malcolm Group has pioneered the development of the first LST, which stands for Longer Semi-Trailer, and through participation in the UK government's LST trial, they have spearheaded LST use as part of their service offerings. LSTs, as the name suggests, are longer than a standard trailer and can carry up to 50% more volume than their standard length counterparts. This means that the additional cube reduces delivery frequency, which translates into less journeys, a reduction in fuel costs, and lower CO2 emissions.
A really good example is they call them longer semi-trailers, so LSTs. And what that does is that allows you as a haulier and as a customer to move more. Now, we have weight restrictions, but sometimes some goods, what they call the cube out before they weigh out, so they may be bulkier but not heavy. Having the longer semi-trailers allows you to move more. So you can move more on less journeys, etc. Now, to get to that point, a very simple idea is so complicated because we have to make sure that we're allowed to do that. We can move on the road, so we kind of lobbied for trials, which the government, the UK government, done run about 10 years ago. And Malcolm really were the driving force behind that to understand could we safely operate these trailers, which turns out yes we can. There are now structures in place in order for it to do that.
Another way to implement circular economy is to integrate the so-called reverse logistics into business operations. Reverse logistics consists in all operations involved in returning, inspecting, and processing products shipped from a customer, a company, or a retail outlet to the distributors or manufacturers' logistics warehouses. It's like the traditional logistics flows, but in reverse, since the items return from the point of consumption or sale to the warehouse, where they can be exchanged, reused, repaired, refurbished, recycled, and, if their condition allows, resold. And what does reverse logistics look like at Malcolm Group?
For example, as part of our construction offerings, we do a lot of work with recycled aggregate material. So in essence, we take waste construction materials such as soils and stones or waste concrete, and we reprocess that, and we then take it back out the door into quality recycled aggregate products. So the term reverse logistics gets used quite a lot for that, but it just makes sense. It makes so much sense. We take a waste product, we manufacture it into a non-waste recycled aggregate back out the door.
However, to be effective in implementing our reverse logistics system, vehicles need to be adaptable to transport different types of goods on the journey back. The Malcolm Group's walking floor trailer fleet is a great example of this. These trailers provide high cube volume and payload return, which reduces the number of road journeys required and results in cost savings for customers and a significant reduction in CO2 emissions.
So another example of that would be the innovative approach we take to our sort of ancillary equipment. So when we've got our tractor units and we have our trailers, it's what's best for that customer in order to connect. So we've done a lot of research and a lot of development with manufacturers in terms of how we can maximise our fleet and our fleet potential. Our walk-in floors trailers are a great example of that. So for example, we know from the market point of view that we take goods from Scotland down across the border to England. It can be slightly different on the route back, so we have to be flexible in our approach. So from Scotland to England, we can safely take biomass pellets, for example, on our walk-in floors. But then we can then adapt that unit to then take palletised items back across the border. So again, we're not using that sort of wasted journey.
An industry-wide transition to a circular economy requires a strong stakeholder collaboration to align goals, share best practices, develop common standards, and pool resources and expertise necessary to innovate and implement circular solutions at scale. We asked John how important is collaboration for Malcolm Group when it comes to circular economy.
That's a key point in terms of the Malcolm Group here and what we can offer. So one of the key things about the Malcolm Group is the wealth of experience in there and the focus on customers. All businesses will say that, but we can also demonstrate it, which is really quite exciting. Another thing is we can demonstrate that with an approach to circular economy. So in terms of collaboration, one of our key environmental themes in our strategy is industry collaboration. We know we need to have a lot of people around the table and share ideas. In terms of the Malcolm Group and how we've managed to do that, we've listened to some of our key customers and what they need. We then go and work with manufacturers within the industry itself.
John makes the example of the long semi-trailers which we discussed earlier and stresses how these were the result of collaboration between different players within the industry. This is what he says.
But that piece of initiative came from listening and then taking that action forward and not just keeping it to ourselves, it's keeping it to the manufacturer of the trailer and working together on making sure that we can get the best fit for our customer, for the trailer manufacturer, for ourselves.
Shifting towards a circular economy in the transport sector represents a fundamental change in how resources are managed and utilized. And Malcolm Group is a great example of this transformation, as it demonstrates how businesses can effectively integrate sustainability and circular economy principles into their operations. By implementing solutions such as reverse logistics systems, innovative trailer designs like the longer semi-trailers or the walk-in floors, Malcolm Group not only reduces its environmental impact, but also sets an example which demonstrates how these solutions also make business sense and go hand in hand with a sustainable economic growth. A central component of this transformation is the ability to encourage cross-sectoral collaboration, which is one of the fundamental pillars of Malcolm Group's sustainability strategy. And the success of this approach depends on breaking down silos and fostering partnerships that enable innovative solutions to be developed and scaled. By working together, businesses can not only enhance their operational efficiency, but also contribute to a more sustainable and resilient industry that benefits both the environment and the economy.